Let's dive right into a cosmic cold case. We're always told the universe loves chaos, that everything is constantly falling apart, and yet we see order everywhere. So how can both of these things be true? I mean, think about it. One of the most fundamental rules of physics, the second law of thermodynamics, basically says the universe is on a one-way trip to disorder. But then you look around, you see galaxies, planets, life, even your own DNA. All these incredibly complex, ordered structures. It just doesn't add up, right? It's a huge cosmic contradiction. So, what is going on? Where does all this beautiful order come from? Well, a series of recently surfaced documents, codenamed Fractal Resonance Cognition, or FRC for short, propose something pretty radical. They suggest that all this order, it's not an accident. They claim there's a hidden force out there, something actively pushing, actively guiding the universe towards structure. So today, we're cracking open these FRC files and following the evidence. Okay, so let's start our investigation by looking at the two main forces at the heart of this whole thing, the push and the pull of the cosmos. So in one corner, you have entropy. That's the famous scientific law that says everything tends toward disorder, decay, and just randomness. It's the universe's default setting. But in the other corner, you have this thing we see everywhere, coherence, the spontaneous popping up of patterns, of structure, of complexity. They seem like they're in a constant, epic battle. But what the FRC files suggest is that we've been looking at this fight all wrong. And that brings us to the first major clue uncovered in these documents. It's a concept they call the law of reciprocity. And it hints that maybe chaos and order aren't enemies at all. Maybe they're partners. Now, don't let the science speak here throw you off. That key phrase, thermodynamically conjugate, is really just a fancy way of saying they're two sides of the same coin. They're fundamentally linked. They aren't fighting each other. They're in this perfectly balanced dance. One can't exist without the other. And here it is. This is the first bombshell from the FRC files. This little equation is their smoking gun. It basically says that for any change in entropy or disorder, there has to be a perfectly equal and opposite change in coherence or order. They are locked together. One can't make a move without the other responding in perfect balance. So, okay, we have a law that describes this perfect balance. But a law is just a description of what happens. It doesn't explain how it happens. What's the engine actually driving this? What is the physical thing that's enforcing this rule? This really is the absolute heart of the mystery, isn't it? If there's some kind of force out there that's creating order to perfectly balance out all the chaos, what in the world is it? And this is where the FRC files don't just ask the question, they point to a suspect. They call it the Lambda-field. The idea here is that it's a fundamental field, kind of like gravity, that fills all of space and time. But instead of pulling on objects, its job is to carry information about structure, to literally guide systems towards becoming more organized, more coherent. So what's the deal with this lambda field? Well, according to these documents, it's absolutely everywhere. It acts as a blueprint for structure, and it's even able to influence things down at the quantum level. But its most important job, it's the great enforcer. It's the thing that makes sure that law of reciprocity is obeyed, always pushing things back towards order. Right, so we have our engine of coherence, this lambda field. But how is it supposed to work? What's its MO? And this is where the FRC documents get really fascinating, because they lay out a way to actually model this behavior. Now, I know this equation looks intense, but stick with me. The most important thing to know is that this isn't some made-up formula. It's a well-known, standard-issue equation in theoretical physics. It's used to describe fields that have a natural tendency to settle down, to always return to a calm, stable baseline. This is grounded in real, established science. And what you're seeing here in these simulations, this is what that equation describes. It's like dropping a pebble into a perfectly still pond. You get ripples, a disturbance, but then everything naturally and predictably settles back down to being perfectly calm. The field is always seeking that equilibrium. That's the engine of coherence doing its job. So we have the law that describes the balance. We have the engine that drives it. We even have the math for how it behaves. Now, let's connect all the dots and look at the truly mind-bending place these FRC files are leading us. The documents use this word attractors. They're saying that just like how the lambda field itself always wants to settle down, all complex systems in the universe are naturally pulled towards these stable, ordered, vortex-like patterns. Think of these attractors as the universe's favorite designs, and the lambda field is the force that pulls everything into those shapes. And that leads us to this bizarre vortex-like symbol that shows up again and again throughout the FRC documents. If everything from galaxies to atoms is being pulled towards these attractors, the documents seem to be asking one final, frankly terrifying question. What if this symbol is the blueprint for the ultimate attractor? The final, stable pattern for reality itself? And that is the chilling question these documents leave us with. If this whole theory is right, is our entire universe being pulled into one single, final, perfectly coherent state? Are we all just caught in a cosmic whirlpool, spiraling slowly but surely towards some inevitable conclusion? The FRC files, well, they don't give us the answer. I guess that's for us to figure out.